Tonight we're going to concentrate on a different part of the forest, as we say in newsrooms, the important part where the business of America is done in the public and private sector, where progress is really made. And this is what the Keystone Policy Center, over its more than 40 years, has helped bring about. It has a record of being at the forefront of public policy and decision makers' ability to see it. From healthcare to sustainability, from energy to education. One of the great things that Keystone does is to bring key decision makers together and help build consensus so that a framework, something that becomes a blueprint for leaders to address the day's most vexing problems, comes out of this organization. And we are celebrating tonight, for the 24th year, the leaders who are great examples of this. Those who are veterans of the Keystone Dinner may recall that we generally give the award and the awardee gives a speech. Tonight, we're going to try something different. We are going to have a panel about the long and winding road to collaboration, the path away from gridlock, and some of the lessons learned, as well as some of the difficulties still there. Now, we're going to have this panel after the awards will be presented before dinner, and we're going to have the panel later on. I am nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs about doing this, but I want you to know we've got a safety valve. A former colleague of mine at ABC News, Chris Wallace, now a standout at Fox News, is here, and he promises to take over in case I stroke out from tension. We will now have a few words from our board co-chairs, Jerry Lynch and Paula Gold-Williams, and then our maximum leader, Christine Scanlon, will have a few words beforehand. I swore an oath of honest loyalty to her this afternoon. It turned out that wasn't quite enough, so I have given a pledge of loyalty unto death to Christine Scanlon. So we will enjoy that. Please take it away, Joe.
Thank you, Shelby, for your introduction, and thank you to the museum and staff for hosting the Keystone Leadership Awards tonight. Let's give Shelby and all the staff who put the dinner together a round of applause. So good evening, I'm Jerry Lynch, and this is Paula Gold-Williams, and we are the co-chairs of Keystone's Board of Trustees, and we're proud to welcome you to the 24th Annual Keystone Leadership Awards Dinner. And I'm going to save all of you a lot of awkwardness. Please go ahead and start eating. You don't have to wait for the opening remarks to start enjoying tonight's dinner. This evening is as much a celebration of our awardees and their leadership as it is of what Keystone's founder, Bob Craig, once called an unlikely organization. Bob recognized the necessity of Keystone's mission and its work to inspire leaders to reach common, higher ground. Bob, time and again, dared Keystone to take risks in finding collaborative solutions, something I think all of us could agree we need a lot more of in today's environment. Keystone not only endured under his leadership and philosophy, it thrived. Keystone's approach and mission not only birthed a new approach to policymaking, it inspired others to do more than pursue lowest common denominator deals. Tonight is a celebration of Bob's enduring vision, but as we all know, even more so our esteemed awardees, who each embody Keystone's mission and belief that big challenges deserve equally big solutions. We'll hear more from them later, but let's give all of our awardees a round of applause. And now I'm pleased to pass the microphone to my co-chair, Paula Gold-Williams.
Thank you. Thank you, Jerry. And thanks to Shelby. I feel like I'm in good hands, but if he's nervous, and I don't know what I should be right now, because you're a pro at this. So I get the honor of thanking folks. The challenge is that the type is small, and so I must read, because if I screw this up, then I'm really in trouble, and I want to get every name right. In particular, on behalf of the Board of Trustees of Keystone and all of our supporters, I want to thank the people who have worked tremendously hard to put this event together, and they start early in the year to put this night together. We have Clint Vince, Dee Dee Hapner, Shelley Fiddler, Shu Sheridan, Glenn Prickett, Stephanie Milley, and Nikki Nocera. Did all that without glasses. And those are members of our board who have been dedicated to this organization, many of them for decades. I'm a new arrival, and as I always say, I got here as soon as I could, and I'm all in as a co-chair. But additionally, what really makes a difference in our organization is the team that works tirelessly every day, not just on events like this, but very much on programs and content and collaboration. In particular, on this event, we have several members of the staff who have really done a lion's share of effort. Judy O'Brien, Kim Anderson, Mike Saccone, Bram Brombog. They have done a wonderful job to get us here tonight. So, as you heard, and you'll hear over and over again, Keystone's mission is to help us reach common higher ground. And I think it's easy to point out that there are a lot of differences across the spectrum. What happens at Keystone is people come from all different facets of business, NGOs, industry, and they put aside their individual preferences. They put aside what's really maybe at the forefront of their individual businesses and entities, and they have dialogue about how we can align thought and how we can get to a greater good for our nation, for our cities, for everything that we really believe is a right and a privilege inside of the United States. So you're going to hear some talk about that, because what we think one of the best things that we can do is pay homage to people who we think embody that ability, that they bring something special to their careers and how they execute. And their leadership speaks to the things that are right in our nation. Normally when you go to a dinner, those dinners are speeches, and believe me, I'll be done in a few minutes here, or seconds. But tonight we're going to have a rare opportunity to hear them dialogue and talk in a free format where they're amongst friends and have the ability to share what those thoughts are. So we hope as you go through the evening, you really relax and you appreciate the experience and really appreciate the people who we're honoring greatly tonight. So with that, I think I have all my heavy lifting done, and I very much want to introduce the leader of Keystone, the president and CEO, Christine Scanlon. Thank you.
I would like to note, Shelby, I did not ask for a loyalty pledge. I merely said we can have a conversation, or you can acquiesce to the inevitable and do what we're going to ask you to do. And you have. Yeah, well, we go back a long ways. Good evening and welcome to the 24th Annual Keystone Leadership Awards. That means next year is year 25. Our founder of this event is here tonight, former Ambassador Ed Gabriel, who had the vision to bring the family of Keystone together for one celebration once a year where we can actually honor the leaders in our country who are exemplifying best the belief and the mission of our work. So thank you, Ed. And next year you can be chair again. I want to particularly recognize our Board of Trustees and our Energy Board. If you could raise your hand if you're part of our community. This event would not happen without you, your support, inviting colleagues, friends, family, and really making this event the special evening that it is. We have been an organization, and we've mentioned Bob Craig's name a couple of times, since 1975. Staying around as a nonprofit for 42 years is somewhat exceptional, but more importantly, and I had the opportunity to speak with Mark Tercek, doing the kind of work that we do, I've never believed it is more important than it is today. And while we share a common belief that sometimes is viewed as a little bit quaint in this town, that reasonable people who are smart, who are thoughtful, can come together, actually work through differences in a collaborative way, and model leadership that takes our country forward on issues that are of great import. And I think that is more true today than ever. I'm glad to be in Washington, D.C., where I know everyone in this room shares the spirit of that work. And we have an opportunity. We have an opportunity in front of us, because it isn't a time for polarization, nor is it a time for contentious, although I do have to say I like some of Shelby's name calling. I have to be a little bit honest about that. But I have learned all things Southern from Shelby Coffee, and so there's a creativity to it that I think is important to recognize. But more importantly, all of you embody and exemplify the best of our work in the issue areas that we care about, in the way that you reach out and work with other folks. Every supporter of this dinner wouldn't be here tonight if that weren't the case and weren't true, and certainly that embodies the work of our Board of Trustees. So I just want to recognize and honor that. While we have 5 exemplary leaders on the stage, we have a couple hundred of you in the audience, and recognize that we know that. We believe in lasting solutions. We believe in collaboration. We believe in dialogue. And today's program, again, is a departure from the speeches of the past, but rather an opportunity to hear from leaders around how are they moving these issues forward now? How do you continue to press forward on urgent issues and seek solutions that require perhaps hearing folks who don't always agree with you? And how do you make change real? So we're excited to have the Honorable Shelby Coffey, who, while Shelby has good humor and is a terrific MC, Shelby is a first-class journalist. He is a first-class journalist. No pressure. You will do great. No, but quite seriously, we are honored to have someone of his caliber as part of our family and part of the Keystone Board of Trustees, and this event would not happen without Shelby. So thank you again, Shelby. I appreciate it. And once again, I want to recognize our generous donors and supporters. At the board meeting today, we talked about your support for this event allows Keystone to explore those issue areas that are the most urgent and important dialogues, some of the most urgent and important dialogues in our country. And without you, we quite simply couldn't do it. So this is our one and only fundraiser. It means the world to us. And more importantly, you're now part of the Keystone family that Bob Craig started, and you all don't know this, but once you walk in the doors, you don't walk out. You just stay a part of our community. So thank you again. With that, I do want to recognize our mission one more time, because we've referred to it, but we mean it. And we're based in Colorado, so when we say common higher ground, you can infer that a couple of ways. But what we really mean is to find inspiration in our mission, inspire leaders to rise above entrenched positions to reach common higher ground. In where we live, that's at 9,600 feet. It doesn't have to be that high for everyone, but it is an important aspiration. With that, I'd like to bring back Shelby Coffey, my friend, my mentor, our trustee. Thank you.
All right, we are going to now do the awards in alphabetical order. So if the awardees can come up, and Senator, you are going to be first. Senator will be first. Right. Our first honoree of the night is a pioneer in the truest sense of the word. U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar is the first woman elected to represent Minnesota in the U.S. Senate. Her career, first as a prosecutor and now as a member of the Senate, has been defined by finding common ground and working across the aisle on behalf of the people of Minnesota and the nation. From working to lower the cost of prescription drugs to boosting workforce training, and apprenticeships to expanding broadband service, Senator Klobuchar's approach to leadership embodies Keystone's mission in action. Come over here. Thank you. There we go. This is heavy. I'll hold it. Thanks very much.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Okay. Stay around. Our next awardee shows how the private sector can lead national efforts to promote sustainability and responsible business practices. As president of Unilever North America, Kees Kruythoff has spearheaded the company work on reducing carbon emissions, supporting sustainability throughout the supply chain, and improving water quality and soil health. Please join me in honoring Kees for his work to bring Keystone's mission to life. Thank you very much. Congratulations. We'll come around here. There we go. Thank you. Keystone has worked through its long history to find actionable, lasting solutions where all other efforts have failed. That is its special sauce. ComEd 2 embodies this dedication to reaching common higher ground under the leadership of Pramaggiore. From being the driving force behind the recent Future Energy Jobs Act in Illinois to supporting collaborative public-private partnerships, to working to modernize the electric grid, Ann's leadership has been an inspiration. Please join me in honoring Ann. Oh, you've got some fans here. That's nice.
You said my name, so perfect.
I studied Italian with a most wonderful Italian teacher. We'll talk about her later on. Thank you very much. That's heavy, so better leave it up here. Okay. It's hard, nigh unto impossible, to summarize the groundbreaking work of the Nature Conservancy. It has led the global debate around so many issues, including sustainable agriculture and helping the private sector incorporate sustainable practices into their business. This is a testament to the leadership of its president and CEO, Mark Tercek. Even at a time of gridlock on Capitol Hill, Mark has partnered with leaders in the public, private, and NGO sectors to achieve real progress on some of the biggest environmental challenges our world faces. Please join me in honoring Mark.
Thank you, sir.
Almost a lifetime achievement. This one, that was great. Public dialogue and debate are at the key of Keystone Policy Center's work. Where we are gathered here tonight in the atrium of the museum, because the founders actually set up America to be a marketplace of ideas, an argument culture. Our next awardee, Chris Wallace, has played a pivotal role in hosting and provoking conversations at the core of our democracy and essential to public policy. In his 13 years at Fox News and his decades of work as a reporter, I mentioned he and I worked together at ABC News, Chris has interviewed thousands of policymakers, leaders, and newsmakers at the center of world politics. Especially noted was his stellar performance moderating the presidential debate this past tumultuous election year. Please join me in honoring Chris and the role he has played in our nation's rich history and public discourse. Thank you.